remember Mama and the love that she gave. Kneeling by her bedside, I can still hear Mama say, the people are depending on you, Shirley. Don't you let them down. I remember Mama in a happy way. We went to school with holes in our shoes. We didn't have much, but the Lord saw us through. Mama kept the family together, yes she did. I remember Mama in a happy way. She packed our lunch in an old greasy bag. It might have seemed empty, but it was more than others had. It had a lot of love way down.
On this day in 1965, President Lyndon Johnson reluctantly pledged federal troops to an Alabama civil rights march. Governor George Wallace had allowed Alabama police to thwart a previous march.
Well, I recognize the right to peacefully assemble, but I do think there are limitations.
He wanted the blame for any further violence to fall on the feds. Johnson sent his troops, and then he publicly humiliated Wallace, expressing dismay over the governor's refusal to protect the constitutional rights of protesters.
It has been rare in our history for the governor and the legislature of a sovereign state to decline to exercise their responsibility.
LBJ's political skill assured a peaceful march from Selma to Montgomery. And that's how this day went down in history, March 20th, 1965.
My brothers and sisters, they're living far apart. Although my mom is gone, she's right here in our hearts. We all gonna pull together and stay in the holy place. Why? I remember Mama in a happy way. Oh, yeah. I remember Mama in a happy way. You know, I remember my mama when I was about 12 years old. I was going to church, playing church. How many of you used to play church? Let me see your hand. Yeah, some of you still play. And I remember, I'd go down Mount Calvary, that's where I belong. And I'd jump and I'd shout and I'd come back home. But I was still disobedient. I would talk back. And one day, me and Ann here, we decided that we want to play church. Let me tell you what we did. We went out in the back and started playing church. And my brother was a pastor. Me and Ann here, we were the members in the church. And let me tell you something. It's hard to come in contact with Jesus and still be the same. I don't care who you are. I don't care. You can be the chiefest of sinners. You will never be the same. And I've forgotten I've been going down to the church, playing church. Came home still disobedient. Didn't want to wash the dishes. Didn't want to bring the clothes in off the line. Didn't want to do anything. Mama said, I'm sick of you going down to that church playing with God. And then we went outdoors. We started playing church. Sat down on the bottom step. My brother was a preacher, and we were the members in the church. And he put some old glasses and put them right here on his nose. And he said, I want you to jump up and shout Jesus 3 times. And I jumped up and I shouted Jesus 2 times. But when I jumped up the 3rd time, something got a hold of me. I couldn't see But she looked out there and saw me, shouting and dancing all over the backyard, tears running down my face. It's just a light bulb! Mama looked out there and she said, she ain't playing this time.